A firefighter who was paralyzed because of an impaired driver has a powerful message this holiday season about the consequences of drinking and driving. Angie Rodriguez has his emotional story.
This could be you, or you can cause this to be someone else.
Former Cleveland firefighter Gotti Cole with a warning for you. His life dramatically changed on May 12, 2023. He was out riding his motorcycle when a drunk driver slammed into him at nearly 45 miles an hour. Cole suffered serious injuries and is now paralyzed.
The hardest thing is when you're 100% not at fault, and then someone's poor decision caused you a life-altering situation.
Now, more than a year and a half later, the crash still weighs on him. Cole now attempting to turn tragedy into triumph, warning others about driving drunk.
You wake up thinking about it, you go to sleep thinking about it, you think about it during the day. It's just something that you have to live with and try to cope with daily.
The driver that hit him, Ali Akram, took a plea deal, pleading guilty to an assault and DUI charge. The judge giving him the maximum sentence allowed, just 2 years. Now, as Cole celebrates the holidays, he knows they will never be the same.
Previous family traditions, going to go cut down a tree and bring it in the house and decorating it and going sledding and things like that. Everything is extremely different now because my injury.
And while some holidays like Christmas are already in the rearview mirror, New Year's is right around the corner. And for the people that want to celebrate at home, well, Gotti has a piece of advice.
I feel lucky that I'm still alive, but it's a lot of people that had a completely different fate that don't get to tell their story. And for us that got a chance to survive, we want to tell it for people that didn't, that you have to be careful, you have to be cautious, you have to be mindful, and you have to be responsible.
It's a warning Cole hopes everyone pays attention to. In Cleveland, Angie Rodriguez, 19 News.